It's just unbelievable. And we don't challenge those false teachings. Even Shaul said, when a person prophesies, he said, let 2 or 3 judge. He's supposed to judge that prophecy. You turn on YouTube and find me or any other teacher, you're supposed to challenge that. Judge that. If it goes against the Most High's law, I don't care who said it. It is sin. Okay? All right, now, let's go to Hebrews 13. And we're going to wrap this segment up. And then we're going to show you some things about the law. So, because the Most High sent us into captivity, Luke 21, I think it is, said, they shall, how does he say it? Fall by the sword, right? Okay, Luke 21:24. They shall fall by the edge of the sword, right? And shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So the Most High said they shall fall by the sword. So that's how we end up in America. We fell by the sword, right? But he said Jerusalem shall be trodden down until the time of the Gentiles, right? Okay, now, I just wanted to bring that out. So now we're in the lands of captivity, right? And we offer a different type of sacrifice, right? Okay, let's go to Ephesians 5. So we're going to show you in this part, this segment, how do we keep the sacrifices with the Most High put his name on us in the sanctuary where we have come in the lands of captivity. How do we keep the sacrifices, right? Okay. So now the first one is Ephesians 5:1-2.
Be ye therefore followers of Yah as dear children, and walk in love as Yahshua also have loved us and have given himself for us, an offering and a sacrifice to Yah for a sweet smelling savor.
See that? So walking in love as Yahshua loved us. Right? So that's how we offer. There's one way we offer sacrifice. Okay, now let's go to Philippians 4. This used to be one of my favorites of Shaul's letters. Matter of fact, when I was in the Church of God in Christ, I did my trial sermon off of this chapter. Didn't realize I was sealing my doom. But this is my trial sermon. Philippians 4. Let's start at Philippians 4 and 4. 4 and 4, we're going to go down.
Rejoice in Yah always, and again I say rejoice. Let your moderation be known unto all men that Yah is at hand. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be made known unto Yah.
See that? So he says to be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer. So what was the sacrifices designed to do? They were prayers and fellowship. So with prayer and supplication and with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto Yah. Okay, go ahead.
And the peace of Yah, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and your minds through Yahshua the Messiah. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. Those things which ye have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do, and the Elohim of peace shall be with you.
Okay, now notice what he says here. This is talking about worship now. He says, what things are honest, what things are just, what things are pure, what things are lovely, what things are of good report? What's of good report? To say the Most High's law is not a good report, it's just ludicrous, right? If there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. So we are thinking on. Remember what the Most High told in Joshua. We won't go there, but he told him, he said, meditate. This book of the law shall not depart from off thy lips, right? But thou shalt do what? Meditate upon it day and night, right? This is what he's talking about. Think on that. Think on that which is pure. The law, even in Psalms, David says the law of Yah is perfect, converting the soul. Figure that one out. How is the law perfect when you say the law was administration of death? The administration of death was not the law, the moral law that the Most High gave us to love our neighbor as ourselves and love Yah with all our heart. The administration of death was when a person transgressed and they instantly got stoning. That was the administration of death. We don't do that law. We don't enforce that law. We can't kill nobody because we're not a functioning nation. But in the millennium, it's going to happen. Those that break the law, we wiped out. Those transgressors. It says in Isaiah 68, we read that last night, 66. Those that transgress, they shall look upon the carcasses of those that transgress against the law of the Most High. And it shall be an abhorrence to all flesh, right? So now, let's get down to, we still in Philippians 4. Let's go to verse 18. I'm going to read verse 18, and that'll be it.
But I have all and abound. I am full, having received of Epaphroditus the things which were sent from you, an odor of a sweet smell, a sacrifice acceptable, well-pleasing to Yah.
See that? So all that he talked about, he calls it what? A sweet smell, a sacrifice acceptable, well-pleasing to Yah. A life that pleases the Father. But they that are in the flesh cannot please the Father. The law of Yah is not the flesh. The flesh is what? Lasciviousness, adultery, emulation, sedition, strife, heresies, etc. That's the flesh. When Shaul says they that are in the flesh cannot please Yah, that's what he's talking about. Okay? Because the flesh don't even want that. See, even Shaul, he rebukes that false teaching because Shaul says that the flesh lusteth against the spirit, right? Doesn't he say that? Mm-hmm. But you know, reading, you know what it says. The flesh lusteth against the spirit, and they are contrary one to the other. Right? Then he says, I serve with the spirit, I serve the law of Yah. Isn't that what he says? See, people misrepresent what Shaul was saying. With the spirit, let me give you somebody saying, brother, you made that up. Okay.
For I thank Yah through Yeshua. So then with the mind I myself serve the law of Yah, but with the flesh the law of sin.
See that? With the mind I serve the law of Yah. That's why he said meditate on it. Because with the mind I serve the law of Yah, but with the flesh I serve the law of sin. So we don't walk after the flesh. That's all he's talking about. To obey the Most High has absolutely nothing to do with walking after the flesh. It's the total opposite, right? Let's do it. Somebody will say, brother, you didn't start at the top of the verse. We don't have a problem reading from the top down because we ain't trying to hide nothing, okay? Romans 8:1 down to 7.
There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Yeshua, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit.
Stop there. There is no condemnation to those who are in Yeshua the Messiah, who walk not after the flesh. Once you get under your belt what walking in the flesh is, then this makes a whole lot more sense to you. If you're looking at the law as being the flesh, then you have been woefully misinformed. Walking in the flesh is walking in disobedience, which is the works of the flesh, which is lasciviousness, adultery, fornication, etc. But walking in the spirit is walking in obedience to the law of Yah, which is called the royal law, which is called the law of liberty. Right? There is therefore now no condemnation to them that walk, which are in Yahshua the Messiah, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. Okay, go ahead.
For the law of the spirit of life in Yahshua the Messiah hath made me free from the law of sin and death.
So what does that mean? Yahshua being the last Adam, when he died, that did what? Put man back. Because he paid for sins past. Okay? Going forward, every sin that we commit has to be confessed. So you got a clean slate. Okay? So you put man back in the position of the first Adam before the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and before the tree of, that's what he means when he says he had made me free from the law of sin and death. Okay? So now you can have eternal life. Okay? All right, go ahead.
For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, Yah sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin condemned sin in the flesh.
Okay, stop there. We're going to expound on each verse. So what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh. Okay? The law was never designed, right, to justify you. Right? I know somebody's probably saying, well, that sounds contradictory. The law was designed to be the schoolmaster to teach you to walk in the spirit. There's a difference between the two. That's why he said, for what the law could not do, in that it was weak to the flesh is not going to obey the law of the Most High, is all he's saying, man. Okay, go ahead.
That the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit.
See that? That's how the righteousness is fulfilled. By those of us who don't walk after the sinful nature, the Adamic nature that Yahshua came and died to free us from. So the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled. He didn't say the righteousness of the law might be done away with. The righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit. The fruit of the spirit. Okay, go ahead.
For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh.
See that?
But they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit.
So they that are after the flesh mind or obey the things of the flesh. Go to Galatians 5. Let it minister to you. Because every time he's talking about the flesh, we need to go over to Galatians 5 and see what he's talking about. They that mind or obey the flesh, right? For they that are after the flesh obey the things of the flesh. Okay? But they that are after the spirit obey the things of the spirit, which is in agreement with the law of Yah. Okay, go ahead.
For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
See that?
Because the carnal mind is enmity against Yah, for it is not subject to the law of Yah, neither indeed can be.
That's why the law cannot do, because it's weak in the flesh, because the carnal mind or fleshly mind cannot serve Yah. The carnal mind or fleshly mind is an enemy against Yah. That's why when you hear this law, you tighten up. We can't keep all of them. That's 600 plus laws. Somebody said 900 laws plus. The number changes. What is it? What's it going to be next week? 1,000 laws? 1,000 plus? We can't keep all those laws. Because you are in the carnal mind. That's why you can't keep it. You don't want to keep it. I can have respect for those of you who say, brother, you know what? I agree with what you're teaching, but I don't want to obey those laws. I'd rather obey my flesh. I can have respect for you if you come clean, come honest, and you know what? Yeah, I don't want to obey, brother. That's too hard for me. I know what you're saying is true. And I know we should obey the Most High, but to not commit adultery, fornication, lasciviousness, envy, strife, sedition, heresy, etc. It's easy to do that. It's harder to display the fruit of the Spirit. Okay, where we at?
Stopped at 7.
Okay.
Verse 8. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Yah. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit. If so be that the Spirit of Yah dwell in you. Now if any man have not the Spirit of Yahshua, he is none of his.
See that? So how is the Spirit dwelling in you? Through the Word. Through obedience. That's why when we go back to Joshua, he said, this book of the law shall not depart. Right? But you shall meditate on it day and night to do all is written in the book of the law that you should live. Right? So you are not in the flesh, but in the Spirit, if so that the Spirit of Yah dwells in you. And the Spirit of Yah don't dwell in you if you're not obedient. We read that already, didn't we? If the Spirit only dwells in those that obey Him. All right, go ahead.
Verse 10.
Uh-huh.
And if Yahshua be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Spirit is life because of righteousness.
See that?
But if the Spirit of him that raised up Yahshua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised up Yahshua from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his Spirit that dwelleth in you.
See that?
Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh to live after the flesh. For if ye live after the flesh, ye shall die. But if ye through the Spirit do mortify the deeds of the body, ye shall live.
There you go.
For as many as are led by the Spirit of Yah, they are the sons of Yah.
There you go. That's all you need. That's all you need. That's what Shaul was talking about. Not walking in the flesh, walking in the Spirit, walking in obedience to the Father, to His commandments, to the best of your ability, and not making excuses. Well, brother, there's too many laws. We can't keep them all. James said, if we do fall short of one part, we're guilty of all. Okay, maybe we should look at that.